Coffee with the mighty miracle man time.
And
I think a lot of viewers have preconceived notions about hypnosis from all the, pardon my language, but both out there online and in movies. So today we have a special guest. He's a I'll let him tell you. Would you mind introducing yourself and telling us a bit about you and what you do?
okay, I'll be glad to. Hi, folks. My name is Mark. I am a certified hypnotherapist and also a licensed optician. And today I'm going to speak to you about hypnosis, and we're going to clear up many misconceptions about hypnosis. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what it is and what it isn't, and how it's a part of your everyday lives. It's not like the things you see in movies, in television. Those are just things to sell scripts and you know, increase the viewership. It's a part of your everyday lives.
But what got you started with hypnotherapy and everything?
I use hypnosis to help me with pain management. I have cerebral palsy, and pre-pandemic, I've been a licensed optician. I also make eyeglasses for a living for over 20 years, and
Okay.
I reached a point in my career where I was beginning to experience a lot of pain during my work. As a licensed
Yikes.
optician, as a licensed optician, I spend about 8 to 10 hours a day on my feet. And during the opioid crisis, my doctors were beginning to prescribe pills to help me deal with the pain. I'm like, I don't want to take a bunch of pills. So I began to look and look and look for a more natural and holistic way to alleviate my pain. And one day a friend of mine said, "Why don't you try hypnosis?" And I was like, "Yeah, like most people, that doesn't work. This is something for the movies." And I tried it, it didn't work. But what it did was it sparked a curiosity in me. So I began to look and look and look, and I finally found a hypnosis file that did work. And I was able to bring my pain from, like, say, a 8 or 9 all the way down to a 1. All right.
Wow.
So yeah. So I did that for a while, and then one day it just clicked to me, because I've been so blessed with that, been able to still work. I have to share the science with others. So I learned the science, and I became a hypnotherapist, and now I help people with pain management, mental and emotional detox, insomnia, anger management, and things like that.
Oh, how did you get started with all this?
Okay. Well, first of all, I have to tell you, I am physically challenged. I have cerebral palsy, and I've had cerebral palsy since birth. And in my role as a licensed optician, I spend maybe 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 10 hours a day on my feet. And that became very taxing. And during the opioid crisis, I was in a lot of pain. My doctors, they wanted to prescribe pain pills to help me alleviate that pain, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to just take a whole bunch of pills to be able to work every day. So I began to look for, a more natural and holistic way to alleviate my pain. You know, and I tried things like, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of acupuncture, those are things that were suggested to me, and I'm like, nah, none of that works. And then one day, a friend of mine, he had suggested hypnosis, and like most people, I dismissed it. I'm like, well, nah, that doesn't work. That's just something you see in the movies. And one day I was on the University of YouTube, as I like to call it, and it came across my feed, hypnosis for pain management. Well, I tried that trial and it didn't work. But what it did for me was it, it sparked a curiosity in me. So I began to look and look and look for, more, a file that could work. And eventually I found one, and I'm able to bring my pain from like an 8 or 9 on the 10 pain scale all the way down to like a 1 or 2. Now, I have to tell you a few things. Number one, you should never eliminate pain from your body totally because it's your body's alarm system saying that something's not quite right. Okay, number one. And number two, hypnosis itself doesn't cure anything. But what it does, it helps you to manage things. It can be a powerful assistant. You still have to put the work in, you know, to achieve that point where you're able to manage things. And I now run a professional practice where I help people with pain management, mental and emotional detoxing, insomnia, anger management, and many other things.
People, this isn't a magic pill. You actually have to work. And that's like with anything, fitness especially, you have to put in the work to make it work for you.
Exactly. I like the way you said that. It's not a magic pill or don't have a magic wand. You still have to put the work in. You know, again, hypnosis. It's a powerful tool. It's a powerful aid. You know, and it's around us every day. And that's what's amazing. You know, if you've ever read a book and you could see the scene in your head, you were hypnotized. If you've ever smelled something cooking and you instantly became hungry, you were hypnotized by the smell. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You got to remember, and we can clear up one misconception right now. Number one, it's not mind control. You know, hypnosis is a collaboration between you and the person that's hypnotizing you, or if you're doing self hypnosis, you're allowing yourself to go in your subconscious mind and work on whatever needs to be worked on. The human thought process takes place on two levels: your conscious and your subconscious thought. Now, your conscious thought takes up about 10% of your thought process, and your subconscious takes up the other 90% or so. That's where your memories are, that's where your dreams are, you know. And, and what we do when we put someone in a hypnotic state, we bypass your conscious thought and we deal directly with your subconscious. But here's the beauty of it, Brendan. Your conscious thought, which is 10% of your thought process, it protects your subconscious. That's about 90. So I can't say, Brendan, go kill someone. Because your conscience is going to protect you. It's going to protect you.
No.
Yep, and say, no, we're not going to do that. One or two things that are going to happen. If I give you a command that doesn't sit well with your conscience while you're in a hypnotic state, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to come out of that hypnotic state or your body's just going to ignore it, you know?
That's a good thing to note. And like the subconscious being 90%, that's part of why in fitness, when you're trying to get in shape, you have to put on your clothes the night before and stuff, like get everything ready so your subconscious thinks, oh, we're doing this.
Exactly,
And then
exactly.
your conscious is like, fine.
Yep, fine, we'll do it. You're already dressed, you're ready to go. We might as well just go ahead and do it.
Exactly. And that's part of why I say showing up to the gym is half the battle, sometimes 3/4.
Yep, exactly. And there used to be an old saying that says, "What the mind can perceive, the body can achieve," and that's true. It all starts with your mindset. Yes. You can. How many times have you seen people buy home fitness equipment and yeah, they get it for the first 2 weeks. They're motivated. Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm doing. And then all of a sudden, you put one piece on it. Then you put another piece on it. Before you know it, it becomes your clothes rack. It becomes a place you hide
That's
your bedroom.
the famous thing about treadmills. It's a clothing rack, a $3,000 clothing rack.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
What I do is I motivate people to get active and I push them daily. Like, remember that $3,000 clothing rack?
Yes, yes, exactly. You know, and that's the value of going to the gym because you're there and you see other people working out. So it's like, well, I'm here, I might as well
As
do it.
well,
Exactly.
where can people find you if they want to get in contact?
Okay. If someone wants to get in contact with me, there's several ways to reach me. Uh, I'm on Facebook under Mark Kemp. Okay. You also can find me on Facebook under the name of my company, which is Tranquility Health and Wellness. I'm also on YouTube under Tranquility Health and Wellness. And I have a website, and it's Tranquility Health and Wellness LLC. You can find me there and you can book an appointment. I give free consultations. My method of operation is this. You contact me and I'll have a quick 15, 20-minute call to discuss what issue you would like to address. And if it's something that I can help you with, from there we would book a session. But my consultations are always free. I find that a lot of times people they have the desire to get things done, but they need to be heard. They need that inner voice to be heard. They need to, have someone to validate, what they're feeling and listen to.
That's similar to what I do with the Mighty Miracle Man Rehab and Training. Consultations are always free. I'll hear you out and we'll discuss things. Maybe I can help and maybe I can't. But the only way to find out is to book a call.
Exactly, exactly. You know, that's the problem with society. I feel right now we spend so much time talking at each other, but we don't talk to each other.
Yes, I agree with that completely. And I'll link all these things on how to reach you down below in the description of the YouTube. Was there anything you would like to leave the audience with?
Mindset and self-confidence is one of the biggest things in anything you're going to do. You know yourself, as someone, who is physically challenged also. Some mornings it's tough to just get out of bed. It really is.
Yes,
But it's that inner strength, it's that inner confidence, it's that inner belief in yourself, you know, and I would say to people, build a community around yourself with like-minded people, but it starts with you. And here's what I always leave people with. When you look in the mirror, you should see greatness. If you don't see greatness when you look in the mirror, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. And when you open your eyes, begin to see the greatness in you because it's always there. It's just that sometimes it's hard to get at because life has a way of of just piling things on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other. And that's the beautiful thing. Yep, layers. It's layers and layers. As soon as you manage one issue, there's always another issue, waiting to be dealt with. It's part of the human existence. It's part of living. So we need to embrace it and just try to fix and manage what we can.
exactly. It's like when I tell people that are afraid to get started with fitness, they say, "Oh, I'll do that when I have time." and you won't have time if you don't make time. It's all about priorities. Get involved with something, otherwise things begin to add up and pile on each other. It's like, well, I got to do this first. Oh, wait, I got to do that now.
Yep. And also I like to leave people with this also. In a room filled with one, there's no one more important than you. Hmm.
I would argue that there's only one person more important than me in that room, and that's Jesus.
Yes, 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 yes. He is with you wherever you go, whatever you do. He's always with
Jesus lives in you, so technically you are the most important and the second most important.
you. Yes, yes, yes. It's tandem. They go hand in hand.
Yes, I
Absolutely.
want to thank you for your time and
Yes.
for clarifying for everyone exactly what hypnosis is and isn't, how it can benefit people.
Hmm. Like I said, I get free consultations, so I'm always just a click of the mouse away. You know,
Click down below.
yes, yes. What I'll do, I'll send you my contact info so you can put it in, so you can
Okay,
put it
thank
into there.
you very much.
Yep. And again, it was a pleasure to speak with everyone. And hey, keep smiling and keep moving because that's what the world does. The world's constantly moving. So you know what? Get in the race and keep going.
Yes, I believe that is a wonderful thing to leave people with. Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.